Hey there, folks. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of metaphysics, and we'll be exploring the concept of metaphysical me. For the discovery of Atlantic Empire Atlantis, as always, please note that this video is intended for a mature audience. We've pulled data from various sources, including NOAA, National Geographic, Google Earth and Maps, and other site data to create this intriguing program. It's important to remember that the information presented here is not meant to sway or convert your beliefs. Instead, it's designed to spark curiosity and discussion. So, let's dive into the world of metaphysics and explore the concept of metaphysical me together. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting content.
According to Plato, Atlantis was a powerful island located just beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which are today known as the Straits of Gibraltar. However, he also tells us that this exceptional island met its demise when it was completely submerged by a cataclysmic earthquake that erupted from the ocean floor before his time. The Atlanteans were a formidable force, ruling over both the Mediterranean Sea and Africa, but their hubris was their undoing, as the gods punished them by sinking their entire land into the sea. One of Plato's dialogues reveals that the origin of this tragic event can be traced back to Solon. Solon traveled to Egypt in search of ancient knowledge and was told about an even more ancient catastrophe that occurred long before Greece's time. This story left Plato in awe, inspiring him to create the legendary tale of Atlantis as a way to honor this lost civilization. Let's start with what I call mislead data or unexplored data of various oceanic features. Most humans don't explore past the abyssal zone. In fact, most humans don't even cover a quarter of the ocean. Why? What Plato had to say about the people of Atlantis and their appearance. Plato described the Atlanteans as tall and big, with a size so impressive that they could wade through waters that would reach our chests. Handle what we call truth should learn the true definition of this word first, because I didn't even know what truth was. Sadly, we have questioned everything before we believe it. This is not truth either. No person can know truth, not ever, and when I say this, but what I actually mean is this: no man of earthly concept nor any man of life of earth can get truth. Why truth, my friends, is getting someone to believe, then we know truth. The truth of our life really is incredible and frightening, but necessary to know. It's the knowledge of the God, Son, and angels. It is the fire, rock, and Big Bang that shot life here. It's Buddha, Nirvana, and monks. It's anything you want it to be, and for the ones who believe in nothing, who have lost all hope. But I say this very proudly, for all the ones who have intentionally or non-intentionally given up the fight and think that's right. So what if I told you that this evidence or archived photos and proof that I have found a submerged city? Well, get ready folks, because I have some amazing stuff to reveal. This all started in December of 2023. I was watching some stuff from a real popular TV program, inspiring me to want to focus on maps and geography for a moment. Well, I really found it interesting. For instance, marine or oceanic mapping became a must for me, but I noticed that all mapping devices seemed to get kinda blurry in certain areas. Photos and other mapping data, including using data pulled from the National Oceanic Institute. I have some amazing stuff to share.
You might have heard about the term water memory before, but did you know that it has a real-life scientific basis? This concept suggests that the molecular structure of water can change based on the things it comes into contact with. The more energetic and chaotic the environment is, the more chaotic the structure of water becomes. Now, think about it. We're made up of 70% water. That means all those experiences and emotions we go through every day are stored within our very cells. Talk about a deep connection. So, what does this mean for us? It's a gentle reminder that we should approach life with care and respect. Our thoughts, feelings, and actions all leave an imprint on our water molecules. So let's strive to create a positive impact on ourselves and those around us. Me in this exploration of metaphysics and water. I never knew that everything I thought I knew was going to change. I urge you to pay attention to the future. And just like me, you will be shocked.
Today, we're diving into the fascinating journey of how the world and its oceans evolved from Pangaea to the present day, with a special focus on the transformation of the Atlantic. If you could travel back 200 million years, you'd find yourself in a world where all the continents were fused together in a massive supercontinent called Pangaea. The world has never seen Atlantis like this. Today, I'm going to show you some really cool archived evidence. So let's begin. Keep in mind that most people do not explore the abyssal plane of the ocean, leaving more than 75% of the ocean unexplored. Now, we take a journey back in time where we see the continents split. This is an actual photo recovered by the actual NOAA team. These are fallen slabs that the NOAA team recorded in the beautiful Atlantic Ocean, where the seamounts or cornerized seamounts are currently, which we'll go into. This particular area is where I'm going to focus today. You can see the NOAA pictures have recorded everything except for that seamount that sticks out kind of like a crown. So, my conclusion through all of this is exploring everything that I have and investigating everything that I have and looking into all of this evidence for sure. I've concluded that our NOAA team either didn't explore that region, for some chance they didn't, or they did and found something and left it out. Because I highly doubt from 2021 to 2022, from where I actually started looking into all of this, I highly doubt that a mountainous size seamount sprung up out of nowhere within that time frame, especially for how big this is. I just don't see that happening. Not saying it couldn't, but I just don't say it could. So the various photos and photograph or archived evidence from mapping data that I've collected is going to show you a series of structures and anomalies I've mapped underneath the ocean. So please keep an eye out for them as I go through this with you. As we dive deep down into the Atlantic, start to see some structures and anomalies that for sure just don't make no sense, considering they're reflecting off of a satellite feed. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this definitely is outlines of something. You just be the judge and tell me what you think. Of a city, and we see something light and shiny over in that area as well, and it only happens in this particular area of the Atlantic. So as I'm running through this and you see these structures, a lot of people could blame them on ships, but these are massive. These are extremely huge objects that are reflective. Very strange.
if this is Atlantis or ruins of Atlantis, the value in what this metal could be orichalcum or orichalcum, the way it shimmers. If so, that is very renowned to be a very mythical metal that never existed. But how can we say that when we've never seen it? How can we say that things that have been told in stories before now are lies when they might not be? I see remnants of something here on this seafloor. Not sure entirely what, but the seafloor tells a story. And regardless of what the scientist or Google Earth or anybody else says with their mapping data, any of these objects you see on Google Earth, even through satellite, you can see it like you were standing in front of them, literally. Like as if they were right in front of you on a TV. For some reason, I don't understand why the world believes that the satellites can see things on our world but not in our ocean. That is a lie. And you can prove yourself wrong, actually. You can find numerous statues throughout the ocean still. You can see the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean through Google Earth. So why do you guys believe that you can't see certain images or structures? We are not dumb. You can see this, right? In Plato's dialogues of Timesius and Critias, we see a story play out, a very detailed, oriented story that I just believe is not a lie or fictional or made up at all. The things that he describes in his dialogues are everything that represent these photos, from the citadels to the beautiful structures and the reflective orichalcum or orichalcum, along with gold, tin, bronze, and so many other metals as well. The structures I see in this water resemble an era of Roman or Greek mythos, or in that era of history. And they talk about archways and bridges and canals. And I'm going to show you that the NOAA or Ocean Institutes are either lying to us or they're keeping evidence from us, which is not okay. Atlantis might be the one thing that saves our humanity or one civilization or humankind one day. If we could understand the past, we would know a lot more about our future to come. Here you can see in this photo a structure anomaly which is flat on one side, which appears to be elevated on the other, or held up, kind of like a mound. Atlantis was enclosed in mountains and in centric rings, they say. Well, let me go ahead and tell you guys something. In the dialogue of Plato, it says that there's a rectangular plain. And in this plain, it was the most fertile of all and had some amazing structures and temples. This is a pyramided structure, it looks like, with a flat side that is pointed towards a certain direction, which seems to be a walking path or an actual round palace or something buried in all this muck underneath the Atlantic itself. To be more forward, Atlantis is based off of Egypt as well, so I can see temples or pyramid structures definitely being a part of Atlantis. Now, Atlantis was a very big place. It had 3 connecting islands or isles for other men or races of people or beings. And I was glad to hear that the NOAA or National Oceanic Institute for sure left this out, because now this means that what I found I can share with everybody. These are, again, structures that are just not normal for this particular area, I feel like. And I will give the National Oceanic Institute one thing, though. And that is, they did say that they did see signs of human dredging, but they said it was because of fishing in the early 1900s. But explain this building in the water with clearly some kind of structural anomalies. It looks like it has some windowy archways. It looks like it may have doors or something. And this just gets even stranger from here on out, because I believe I found the Temple of the Sun, or the Temple of Poseidon, or Cleito's dwelling for Poseidon's love, who was a mortal woman. The markings on this structure or mountain is just amazing. Some of these are considered to be seamounts, but then again, I believe that they need to be explored again by a different team, and a different team I mean by citizens. Somebody who is not afraid to tell the truth. Now, if Atlantis is associated with Babylon out of the Bible, then Babylon was still important to humanity, though. It's still important to history to know these things. Why are you keeping it from us if you are? This, to a T, the way Plato describes it in his dialogue, explains a part of the city that I believe this fits into a description of. This area I've recorded of down here with the data and archived evidence. The pyramided structures inside of the enclosed area with the shiny reflective orichalcum or metal that I see. There's even block structures that look like they're even broke in some areas. They just make up some different shapes and weird anomaly structures, which I just don't find categorizing with this area for sure. These reflective things only appear in this side of the ocean. I've been told I've been glitching or something, but that's not the case. And if that's so, then why does it only glitch in these particular areas? What are these actual things? Is this just where mapping has confused itself? Because why doesn't it happen like this in any other areas of the mapping? And if it does happen to you, just leave a comment or tell me, hey, I'm stupid because it happens to you as well. But it's still very strange. Welcome to the Temple of Poseidon, or the Temple of the Sun. The marking or engraving on the roof of this structure seems to point towards either a trident or a sun symbol of some sort. There is clearly altars, arched doorways, or windows in a style or a Deco style of Greek or a Roman mini Colosseum kind of look for sure. I wouldn't know what words to describe or use for this other than that this is amazing for how big this structure is, for the way it looks. And if this is a sea cave, then this is a very remarkable thing of nature. But I'm going to tell you something. What I see here is not natural. I am going to include some high-pic photos that I have taken of these particular places in the ocean. And you guys are going to be amazed, if you aren't already, by this structure I've recorded. I've been on this for almost 2 years, and I've finally gotten this made to show you all. There's a doorway on that side, archways, walking paths, and even stair-like things, it looks like. Now keep in mind, Atlantis sank to the bottom of the ocean. if that is the case, it is going to be in ruins in some areas. And to see something like this is remarkable for how intact it is. Because this, to me, is not natural.
I mean, you have your own mind, your own perspective. You can direct it and put it to use. The mythos of Atlantis is over for a time now is to say, welcome, it's time to deploy our sea teams. I bet if anything this video gets this into action, please thank Sarah. Thomas, a early onset entrepreneur, for everything you're viewing this woman. Forever being a woman who uncovered an ancient place, a relic of the past thanks to all of the features and cast used to Google Earth and Maps. NOAA, National Geographic, and any data collected, left you with questions. The myth of Atlantis can now be laid to rest. For the evidence is right in front of our faces. Maybe we just aren't swimming deep enough. Until next time, keep believing and stay metaphysical.